For years, I've taught thousands of people, I've made a bunch of videos, and I've always said that this ready position should be really nice and high. Recently, I started taking lessons from John because I wanted to improve my game. I thought there was nobody better because I've seen his YouTube videos, they're awesome. You should subscribe, obviously. But he also knows my game inside and out. We've played pickleball together for 3 or 4 years, dating back to when he was in Crystal Lake and I was in Brookfield, Wisconsin. One of the very first things he noticed when I told him that I felt like my hands weren't quite fast enough was actually my ready position.
Okay, so I think that the ready position can be unique from person to person to a certain extent, depending on your level or maybe your comfort level. But if you look at some of the top pros in the world, and specifically those who have the fastest hands, you're gonna find a pretty consistent ready position, and it's probably lower than maybe what you've previously been taught. To have fast hands, you have to be relaxed. So if you notice, if I just kind of hang my arms and hang my paddle in a pretty relaxed position, they're gonna tend to be right around hip height, or you could think of it as right around net strap height, okay? If I get too much up here, what tends to happen is my arms will tense up and my shoulders will tense up. And if you have any tension in the arms or shoulders, you're gonna notice that in slower hand speed.
Ben Johns is a perfect example of what John is saying here. If you take a look at these pictures, that ready position is just around waist height, if not a little bit higher. I like the second image here because it shows his ready position in relation to the net. His paddle is still a little bit higher than net level, but it's still in a very relaxed position.
One of the second reasons is you're gonna find if you try this out that actually the majority of really hard hit balls are gonna come to about this section of your body, okay? So you're gonna find if you keep your paddle around this position, when someone really hits a hard ball at you, your paddle is just gonna kind of be there for it already. If that ball's up higher around chest level, if it's coming super fast, it's probably going out. And also, if our hands are playing up here, you're much more likely to get jammed up by the ball and also be hitting out balls that might otherwise be, going out. So keep this down a little bit and you're gonna probably notice that your ability to leave out balls drastically goes up. So Zane and I are gonna do some fast hands exchanges here, and we're both gonna focus on a couple things. Number one, like I said, we're gonna keep that ready position nice and relaxed. We're gonna keep our paddle neutral, which means it's not favoring a forehand or backhand. And we're just gonna hit back and forth and see how fast we can do this.
So I will say that a high ready position is a little bit of an exaggeration. I would say for the most part, amateurs are still in a position that's too low. When I teach, I definitely see the majority of people below that ideal position that John spoke of. Maybe it is a good idea to over-exaggerate it a little bit, but eventually I think that we want to come back to that about a little higher than waist level position. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think one thing is what you see beginners, amateurs, is sometimes their paddle's not neutral. So that exaggeration, like Zane said, of getting it up is at least getting that paddle to a neutral position where we're ready for a forehand or backhand, which is critical. But once you feel comfortable with that, if you can relax a little bit, you're gonna find that in a more relaxed, ready position, you're actually gonna be a little quicker to the ball.
It's definitely helped my game, and yeah, gonna keep working with John. I haven't fired him yet.